everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller, and a special happy Turkey Day out there to you all. Thanksgiving was yesterday, so I hope everybody had a happy and safe one here. Of course, we got a fun show for you tonight here, but I can't do it without my tag team partner, the Jim Neidhart to my Bret Hitman Hart here, the Man Hammer himself, Rowdy's Roddy, or Roddy's Rowdy.
Roddy's Rowdy, yeah.
Roddy, yeah. Boy, that was a confusing tag name.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when we start talking Survivor Series 89. But yeah, some of the team names were good, and some of them weren't.
And a lot of coke was done on that show too.
Oh yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, there was one particular person may have done a little too much to the point that he was not on the show at all, and he should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's again, we got some teasing there. You all may notice also we are actually pre-recording today here. So we had to record this because I have to work Friday night, Black Friday. So we decided to record this one early here. So if you guys are making any comments, sorry we can't address them. That's why. There you go.
Yeah. So we're sure everything you said was hilarious, though. We agree. That you guys are awesome and amazing and. Yeah, thank y'all for hanging out with us, even in this time-delayed fashion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. And of course, we got to hang out on Thanksgiving. Michelle made a nice, lovely meal for us and everything like that.
Yes, so it was a lovely meal. We enjoyed it greatly. We didn't get into any fist fights this year. I was proud of us for doing that.
No, Michelle.
A few awkward moments with the wishbone, but.
Well, I said Michelle did win the arm wrestling contest this year, so there you go.
Yeah, she did. She did. Yeah. I think it's the most bizarre Thanksgiving ever.
we mix a little Festivus with our Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving doesn't end until you pin the turkey.
Right. Exactly.
And it's a live turkey. You got to chase it around and pin it down, catch turkey. So, hey, if it works for Rocky, it can work for everybody else. So there you go. Yeah. All right. Well, I got a bunch of comic reviews to do here, and then I understand you've got some reviews as well. And then, of course, we got the big review here for Survivor Series 1989, the only Survivor Series that was actually on Thanksgiving.
Was it?
Yep.
I thought there were a couple of them that were on things. I thought the first. No, I know the second one.
Yeah, they always tried to get around the date, but it never quite worked out. So it was usually either the day before or the day after. That's most of the time it's like the day after or stuff like that. But yeah, this one was actually on Thanksgiving Day itself. So
okay.
I think maybe this. Well, let me try to think. Yeah, because I was thinking. Yeah, because I remember a lot of them were either on or around, or it was around usually. But yeah, this one was actually on Thanksgiving. So anyhow, yeah. We'll talk about that stuff later here. But first off, a couple reviews from last week here, some worthy stuff here, and we'll eliminate the one here because yes, there is a Batman from last week.
I was going to say, yeah.
But if you remember from last month, Marvel released Deadpool Batman, which was a crossover and featured a lot of other secondary stories with other team-ups from different characters as well. Well, this is the DC version of that. This is a completely different book, completely different creative team. Matter of fact, it's Grant Morrison, the legendary Grant Morrison, and Dan Mora is the artist on this one here, so a super-duper team on this one here. Different story than was in the Marvel one. They don't even really reference it. So it's kind of almost like a completely different thing here. But then you've got other team-ups in the book. You've got Constantine and Doctor Strange meet for the first time. You've got Ms. Marvel and Static Shock. X-23 and Nightwing. And then Harley and the Hulk. And the Constantine Strange is a really cool story, but very much like the Captain America Wonder Woman story from the Marvel DC one, the Nightwing X-23 almost steals the show.
You were telling me about that one. I'm looking forward to it, to checking that one out.
And kind of the impetus with that particular story is that you have got two people who are direct legacies of some of the greatest heroes known in all comicdom, Wolverine and Batman. These guys are their direct, basically their number twos, their their next generation heroes there. So yeah,
Right.
so they happen to share quite a lot of similarities. The finale for the One World Under Doom storyline. This is issue 9. And man, I tell you what, when Marvel does it right with their big events, where it's like it starts off well, it ends well, it's an all around good story. One World Under Doom fits that moniker. Great ending. And of course, there's a little bit of since this came out 2 weeks ago, Doom does end up passing away kind of almost willingly. But I guarantee he'll be back in comics in probably under 6 months because
it's comic.
Well, and also Avengers Doomsday hits theaters next year, so
Oh, they're gonna want to bring him back. They're gonna want to bring him back looking like Robert Downey Jr. pretty quick.
Yeah, but then there's another kicker because in the storyline, of course, Doom was gifted the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme, and so when he dies, that passes to someone else. Well, that someone took the role, wasn't gifted the role, wasn't appointed the role, anything like that. No, this person took the role, and that person is Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch.
Okay,
she is now Sorcerer Supreme, and that pisses me off. This is a woman, yes, she is not quite a founding member of the Avengers, but a very early member of the Avengers. But let's not forget, she started out as a villain. She broke bad twice before we even get to the Avengers Disassembled storyline, where she killed off multiple Avengers, including her own husband. And then, mutant fans, let's talk about the House of M, shall we?
I hated the House of M so much.
Yeah, and then basically Wanda with the no more mutant shit and basically wiping out almost all of, mutanity. Not humanity, but, mutanity. So, yeah, Scarlet Witch is a dangerous and unstable person. Currently, she's nice, but that doesn't last long because sometimes she tries out some new magic stuff, gets corrupted, whatever else. Highly unstable, highly untrustworthy, has killed multiple heroes along the way, and now she's the most powerful sorcerer in all the universe. And she took the role.
Yeah.
Major problems with this.
I don't see why. I don't see why you'd have problems with that.
Yeah. Got it. That's just and this one here, of course, I told you about this one last week. This is an amazing book, Spawn: The Dark Ages #1. Liam Sharp, the great artist and also writer as well, is helming this book entirely on his own. It's a 6-issue miniseries. When Liam does his fantasy art, it's gorgeous. If you've seen like his Savage Sword of Conan stuff recently, his Batman, Wonder Woman, Brave and the Bold miniseries, Starhenge. When he does his fantasy art, it's gorgeous, very intricate stuff. And this does not, this is right alongside with that. The fun thing about this book is that the secondary character, aside from the Hellspawn, may as well be Conan. It looks like Conan. He talks like King Conan, where he's a little more intelligent, a little more refined, sort of thing like that.
Right.
But he may as well be Conan. So it's almost kind of a Conan Spawn crossover. And also, because Liam Sharp really likes to do his research and get in the weeds on stuff, especially if he's doing a book in apparently olden times, whatever else. So there's a glossary of terms, because there are sometimes some terms or phrases or whatever else that are used in this book that you may not be familiar with. There's a glossary in the back.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
I'm telling you, you're gonna love this.
I'm really looking forward to it, and it's like that. There's like a running theme of stealth Conans in things. Do you know? Like, did you hear about the this? It was the Four Horsemen, their legendary barbarian figure for the mythic legions. The
Vitruvian hack stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, like the SDCC convention exclusive this year was like specific enough to where it had 2 alternate heads, and one looks suspiciously like Conan with the black hair. The other one is suspiciously blonde-headed and looks like He-Man. And it's very like, I see what you did there, Four Horsemen.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, and some excellent selections for this week as well here. I've got a couple of DC, a couple of Marvel, and one indie here. And basically, this is the week of a lot of Batmans. So, but one you had a great interest in, we got to talk about here. From the DC Black Label, this is Batman, Green Arrow, and the Question Arcadia #1.
Yeah. You did get me one of them, right?
Oh, this is your copy, yes.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yes. I did take the liberty of reading this because I was very interested in myself, to the point where I got myself a copy.
Okay.
Gabriel Hardman does the writing and the main art in this one. He's got some backup assistants on here, but the cover is very indicative of this very hard-boiled. We're going back to the '80s style because you got a little bit of kind of some, true to life, kind of maybe a little, social justice kind of stuff. So basically, a great trio of 3 non-superhero characters. Arrow's an archer. Question is basically a reporter / detective, and then Batman's a detective with a whole lot of gadgets and crap, but no superpowers in here. I don't want to give too much away on the story here, but Batman kind of almost plays a turn, like he's in it, but we focus a little bit more on the Question to start off with. Then we get introduced to Ollie, and then Batman shows up there. Definitely the time they kind of almost date this a little bit. Because Oliver, somebody makes a reference to him just coming back from Seattle. So that's the Longbow Hunters. That's the Mike Grell run.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's got like kind of any ties, or that it might even be like a retelling of that 3-issue annual series that I believe it was 88 or 89. That was one was the Batman or the Detective Annual with Batman, then there was the Question Annual, and then there was the Green Arrow Annual, and they were all done by the respective creative teams. But this was when like Batman was like the hardcore Alan Grant run, and the Question was the Denny O'Neil, and Mike Grell was doing like the kick-ass stuff with Arrow. Yeah. And
this is definitely a nod to that and an homage to those runs. So while this is a new story, I don't know if it's going to be connected to anything in the past necessarily. But Gabriel Hardman basically said like those are 3 of my favorite runs in comics. Period. So I want to do a story that basically is an homage to that. So that is exactly what this is. Off to a outstanding start.
I am so looking forward to that because, like, I say this with no hyperbole. Denny O'Neil's Question run was one of the comic book runs that I read that changed my life. Like, just as far as like the deep philosophy of shit, like it was the whole thing is like Vic Sage is like he's an asshole in the first time, right? Like he's like and then the whole series is him realizing that he's a giant tool. And like, but he's still the Question the whole time. But like, he changes from like the Steve Ditko, like hardcore black and white Question to like, more of a nuanced like Eastern philosophy, like Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance kind of Question. And it was like, oh man, dude, that was like one of them things because I read that all in like individual issues, right? So like. And there's something with it, like if you read a comic like as it comes out with the letters pages and everything intact, like you get almost a second story to go along with it because you got the creators going back and forth with the fans, and that almost added a secondary story to the Question. Like Denny O'Neil was almost giving you Cliff's Notes throughout the whole thing. Yeah, and it was like it's something that the omnibuses and the trade paperbacks will never capture. Because they don't put those letters pages in there.
They don't reprint those in there.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple of ones like that I think are better as individual issues as opposed to collections. But
it kind of just depends on what the book is or what the other little nuanced things in there. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next up for our last Batman book here, got to talk about Absolute Batman 14. This is the conclusion of his fight with Bane here. A lot of body horror going on in here because basically Arkham Asylum is no longer an insane asylum, whatever else. It's basically a place where scientists and other freaks experiment on people to turn them into freaks. So one of Batman's friends there, old Waylon, basically got turned into Killer Croc. Bane himself has experimented on himself, where basically Venom just kind of just extends his musculature and just turns him ginormous and whatever else. So Batman was seemingly infected with Venom and tried to turn into one of these things, but he basically kind of turns the tables on Bane here, using his own know-how, the way he does things here. Of course, this really emphasizes, especially this particular issue, emphasizes that this is not your father's Batman. This run of Batman proves that basically this Bruce Wayne fights dirty. He can cut corners if need to. He's brutal and violent as shit, and he has no qualms about killing people. That whole thing of like, I don't kill people because my parents were gunned down an alley. Yeah, that didn't happen in his life. So in Absolute Batman, his father died in a violent shooting accident, but it was at a zoo during a school trip that his father was basically chaperoning. His mother is still very much alive.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
So it's an entirely new dynamic. And of course, also most of the classic rogues gallery, like your Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, Killer Croc, Catwoman, these are all his friends that he grew up with. And they still are his friends, even though basically some of them are getting horribly beaten to death nearly by Bane, or basically been turned by the Arkham people, like Killer Croc here. So, yeah, like I say, it's a completely different dynamic for this particular Batman. And number 14 cements that. We do get another tease with Joker, who's been kind of he's been kind of peppered very lightly in the whole series. He's apparently he is apparently the world's richest man and one of the world's smartest men. And Joker is basically kind of like, I've said this before, Joker is kind of a moniker, like when they give like gangsters, like, Al Scarface Capone or George Babyface Nelson, and the gangsters themselves didn't care for the nicknames. That's kind of the same thing. People call Joker behind his back. They never do it to his face. But apparently there is another side to the Joker, a far more monstrous side. And I'm not just being facetious. He's literally a monster. It's like I don't know, some kind of transformation or whatever else, but I've seen some pictures and some covers, and he also looks terrifying. So there's that. But yeah, Joker coming next issue.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, our one indie selection here. Once again, traveling back to the world of Berserker, Mr. Keanu Reeves here, his immortal warrior. This one's called The Bleeding Tide. So this is another one-shot, kind of going back into his past life. Because, of course, like basically, he's apparently been around since the Stone Age, and then recently died again in the modern age. But again, he's an immortal warrior, so he'll be back. But this is basically kind of like ancient pirates, stuff like that, kind of Elizabethan possible era. But this lady here is a captain of a pirate ship, and she essentially finds him buried in some sort of coffin at the bottom of the sea, retrieves him. They kind of start to form a bit of a relationship, and basically very much kind of Conan Belitz, raiding the seas, having fun, and, fornicating while things are on fire, sort of stuff.
Right.
Like that. So, but yeah, just, still, but of course, Keanu Reeves gets credit in this for creating the character, but he didn't actually write this. Full credit goes to Marjorie Liu for writing this one. Jerry Brown does the main art with Dee Cundiff on backup. But yeah, Marjorie writes a great story here. We get a little bit of a love story with some secrets because our lady captain has got another side to her as well. So yeah, she's not all she's cracked up to be there. So there's a different side to her as well. So yeah. And there are a couple of Marvel selections here. A new volume of The Incredible Hulk has come up here, but this is the Infernal Hulk. So this is basically piggybacking off the Philip Kennedy Johnson run. So this is still that same run that if you guys have been enjoying the run, it's still here. Nick Klein's doing the main art for it. But if you remember in issue 30, the last issue of Incredible Hulk, the creature known as the Eldest, who's basically kind of this mother of horrors, queen of all monsters, sort of thing like that. The Eldest essentially ripped Bruce Banner from the body of the Hulk. So Bruce is gone. Bruce is, they're basically, and the Eldest steps in, and now basically something evil, something old, something horrible is driving the Hulk. So completely uninhibited, no qualms about any kind of anything. So if you want to see a completely unleashed Hulk, this has got some awesome fight scenes. Like there's a scene where a large portion of military comes in and they're going after Hulk because they think, oh, this is, Hulk's fighting a monster. And then they basically realize the Hulk is the monster they have to fight. And it is an ass kicking of epic and violent and bloody proportions. So, but there may be some hope yet. We get to the end of the book there, but so there is a little bit of a shining light there. But yeah, at this point, like the heroes of Earth kind of watch what's going on. Like, what the hell? What's Hulk doing now? Because they have no idea all the supernatural stuff that's been going on with Hulk. So yeah, Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, all of them, they're like, holy shit. Yeah, so like this is like World War Hulk level, except worse.
Right.
Yeah. And then our final selection here, like I said several months back when the Punisher Red Band series debuted, Punisher fans are eating good at the end of 2025 because we have the Punisher Red Band series. Now we've got the Marvel Knights Punisher series. That's 2 issues in, which is kind of a flash forward in the future, much more hard-boiled sort of stuff like that. And then our third miniseries here, Daredevil and Punisher, The Devil's Trigger. This is written by Jimmy Palmiotti with art by Simone Bianchi. Or not Simone Bianchi. Simone Bianchi. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is Simone. Yeah. Great art, great storyline, kind of another time capsule. Basically, Matt Murdock is representing a member of the Ganucci family. You may remember them from the classic Punisher story, Welcome Back, Frank. That's the beginning of the Garth Ennis run that lasted for a number of years. And remember what happened to Ma Ganucci at the end of that? She got her legs and arms cut off and was basically blown to Kingdom Come. So, yes. But she was also a see you next Tuesday of epic proportions when it comes to mob bosses. So, yeah, she kind of deserved it.
Absolutely.
It's unclear if Ma is still alive or if basically just one of the family members has come to head. And so Matt Murdock has to represent him. And of course, Punisher being who Punisher is, he gonna kill him. So he gonna fight. Yay! So, classic DD Punisher fighting and stuff like that. Even to a point where there's one point where Frank is basically going to like blow away the target from a long distance, and he has got Murdock tied up, and is like, "All right, well here, I'm going to attach this gun to you, and it's pointed at me. So if you want to stop me from killing him, you got to shoot me." Yeah, he does that kind of shit too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so very cool. So a lot. That's gonna be, I think, a 6-issue miniseries.
Okay.
So yeah, so pretty cool stuff. All right, what you got for us here?
Well, this is actually kind of your fault a little bit too. Because you didn't help the matters any. But I have a new addiction to a plastic crack, not Warhammer. And so this was my Amazon Black Friday reship because one of the legs fell off of it. But this guy, the triple Viper pack, with the Viper. The 2 regular Vipers and the Viper Lieutenant. And,
that's cool.
Or the Cobra Officer, excuse me.
Okay,
that's a nice little 3-pack that came this afternoon. So it's like I'm gonna open this guy after the show, and then this afternoon when I went to Walmart to look for friggin' model paints now because I'm looking into customs and weathering some of the figures and all that. I found
you've gone way down the rabbit hole.
Dude, I like wait till you see the dining room tomorrow when you come over. Like it's like I'm getting into action figure photography, and like like I'm even like I'm dabbling in stop motion a little bit too, just to see like how so there's like it's a whole deal. But one of my favorites as a kid growing up, I got him today and didn't expect it, but I got old Blowtorch here.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, I'm a big Blowtorch fan. I like him. I love
Yep.
him, and I like Barbecue, like the two fire guys.
Yep,
Like yeah,
I got my blowtorch right here, and the cool
nice.
thing is he has 3 different size fire streams coming out of his thing. So you got like
Oh,
the little
cool.
tiny one where it's like the pilot's lit, we're ready to rock and roll, or we got like a medium stream, or like big huge stream. So
Yeah, I see
yeah,
the big ones right up here. Like I
mm-hmm.
didn't. That's cool that there's more in there because
Yeah,
there's always something more in these boxes. Like this is
oh
like
yeah,
these. We're gonna have to do an episode on GI Joe. You realize this, right? Like, I mean,
okay.
yeah, twist your arm, but yeah. But no, so yeah, that's what I'm excited about. Like, and it's gotten so much worse too. Like now, because it's like I'm looking at like other like 1/12 scale figures that like go along with the line, right? Like, because 3D printing now has like blown up and like made
Oh
all
yeah.
kinds of stuff possible. And then there's these other action figure lines, like Action Force is like a thing
Mm-hmm.
now that's
Mm-hmm.
compatible with them again, and it's not like the old like the British version of GI Joe. It's like a new thing called Action Force because Hasbro let the trademark lapse.
Yep.
Have you seen these Operation Monster Force figures?
Yes, I have. Those are awesome, badass.
Dude, yeah, I might have to
There's
get
some,
me some of them.
yeah, I think those are all
Good.
exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store, like that. Those are the Action Force stuff, but yeah, those
Yeah,
are really cool looking figures too.
yeah. It's like, oh, oh man, but yeah, no, this is because it's like I'm even I'm looking at customizing and kit bashing and like so the Hooded Cobra Commander deal, right? Like how they're
Oh
not
yeah,
going to
yeah.
make it. Yeah, so
Mhm.
people make unpainted heads, 3D print them. They make
Yep.
unpainted heads that you can buy, or you can buy a painted one. Like yeah, on eBay. eBay is like amazing for this stuff now. It's like this is you had a hand in this, George.
I regret nothing. So
Yeah.
one of us, one of us.
No, it's going to be really bad when I'm going to be like, yeah, I took out a second mortgage and I bought the Rattler, and yeah, the
But
vehicles on
it's so cool, the Rattler.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't at
No,
all. I saw
no,
somebody
yeah.
3D printed the flag, the
Mm-hmm.
aircraft carrier, and
Yep.
it does take up a whole room for the house, but it's classified scale. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah. If you thought the one for the 3 3/4 inches was big, wait till you get to the classified size aircraft
yeah.
carrier.
Oh,
And thankfully, the person who 3D printed the aircraft carrier for the classified side, they fixed the big error, which was the opposite side of the aircraft carrier. That's not the front. That has no detail in it whatsoever. They made detail.
oh,
They just yeah, like there's detail on the walls, like he like 3D printed like some texture, or like here's some piping, or here's like an area that's like a weapons locker, so no, there's may not be stuff removable, but at least there's detail. Because that
yeah.
was the thing, like the front part where the landing strip is, and the main hub of not the cockpit, the whatever the command
The
center
command
for the
tower, yeah.
yeah, so there's detail and stuff going on there, but then basically, like all the underneath, like there's storage space. There's all kinds of space to put things in, but there's like it's just blank plastic.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that was like that was one of those things people were like, "Oh, really?" So it's all just surface detail up front and like
Yeah.
nothing on the back side of it. It's like it was weird, So yeah, anybody who did get it, that was the ugly secret no one wanted to tell you. So
Yeah. Well, everybody else was just too busy, like in awe of the massive shrine to GI Joe that you had, the plastic shrine that you had to GI Joe in there. But yeah,
mhm.
like seeing like some of these companies making the gear packs and everything too, like you can like. Yeah, it's like I like 3D printing like little helmets and different guns and everything that go with them. It's like the whole this has blown open a whole new world to me. Like of
Nice.
just like what is like available and what can be done. People are repurposing Fortnite boats torpedo or to make barracudas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like there's like some kind of specific boat that like people are buying that's going like for an insane amount on the secondary market because GI Joe collectors are frothing at the mouth for it because there's no aquatic vehicles in the line yet.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're getting our first snow vehicle because I think the Snowcat thing's fully funded on the Hasbro Kickstarter thing. So we're getting our next large vehicle in because we got some small ones. We got the Trouble Bubble, the Vamp, which is the Jeep, and then we've had some motorcycles, different versions of those. But like the big vehicles, it's like the Cobra Rattler, the GI Joe Dragonfly, which is the helicopter that Wild Bill pilots, the hit tank, and then basically the Snowcat. And that's it so far.
Yeah. And see, I would love to get a hold of a Hiss tank at some point, but like that's another one. Like that baby is expensive, but it's it's a deluxe version. It's a deluxe toy though. Like it really is kind of almost. I hate to say it's worth it, but yeah, it's.
I think there's lights and I know there's lights and sounds and stuff like that. So I mean, there's some. Yeah, it's not. I think it does everything but roll.
I think it might even do that. Like,
oh really? Oh
yeah, yeah. I think
that's
it
cool.
does. Yeah,
that's even better. All right.
Yeah, because I know it's got like rubber treads on it and everything.
Oh, that's tight. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know that Miso's game room may have one. I know they got a Rattler. I've seen the Rattler.
Yeah.
It's glorious. But I can't remember if they have a Hiss tank or not for sale. I think they do. Anyway, yeah, Miso's game. I keep going. Miso's game room in Louisville, Kentucky, is probably my favorite spot for toy shopping. Like for all your like board game, RPG, miniature, Warhammer, D&D, whatever those kind of needs. They are also the go-to for that because you got your paints and supplies, compendiums, books, board games itself, places to play them with other people. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'd have to go there for paints too. Shit.
They got the good stuff though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I learned that there is a difference too between like the stuff like the acrylic paint that you get at Walmart for like 58 cents a bottle versus miniature paint, which is actually like chemically different, like to a certain degree. And like, specifically for, it's like that's a whole other rabbit hole. Like I'm learning, I'm watching video. I'm not learning. I'm watching videos on how to airbrush shit. Yeah, that's where we're at with this.
Well, I was gonna say, if you need some tips on airbrushing, I know a local artist that he basically Eddie Milburn, and he's the airbrush guy. So, and he does really good work. So he airbrushes anything. So
yeah. Well, this is gonna be more for like custom pieces of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a nice guy, so he may give you some tips if you need some. So there you go. So. See, I love it. See, you're going further down the hole than I am because I don't get into the kit bashing and stuff like that. Because I've never gotten into it, though I find it interesting. I follow a lot of people on social media who do it, and I love a lot of their work, and I'm always amazed by it. But it's like I don't know if I've got that kind of talent, but still, it's like if you're going to do it, then we're like, hey, Seth, what do you do here?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't know, like I don't know if I'm ever gonna like get into like different sculpts or anything like that. But it's like I love the idea of like taking the figures and like doing like the black wash, like adding like detail to them and like really kind of making them pop. Like the backpacks, especially too. Like people are like, I think I'm going to start with the backpacks because the backpacks are unpainted, but they're super highly detailed and like they're really good to start with. Like because I'm not going to get into Warhammer because I'm into another plastic crack now. But
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, and the same with a lot of the weapons too. Some of the weapons aren't really painted, or they're just kind of a mono color, but they have a high level of detail to them. So,
finding out the clips eject on the guns like that blew my mind.
I know, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do a full bore episode on GI Joe in general.
Oh darn!
Yeah.
All right. Well, shall we get to our topic du jour here?
To the main event, yes. Let me get my stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
Because our topic this evening, we're doing another Fanatics review of an old pay-per-view here, and Seth chose the WWF Survivor Series 1989. which this would have been the third event in the Survivor Series. Basically, because the original one was in '87. This, of course, and like it had for, I think, maybe the first 4 years, maybe even 5 years of the Survivor Series, taking place at the old Rosemont Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois, right outside of Chicago.
So. Yeah, because they were trying to hold the Northern Territory still while the NWA had the South. And this was right in the middle of the big battle between the NWA and the WWF on the Thanksgiving show, when the WWF was counter-programming the shit out of everything, like they still do.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yep, like they still do. Yes. Let's see here. We had a recorded attendance at 15,294. And like I said, this actually did take place on November 23rd, 1989, which was Thanksgiving Day. Our commentators, one of my favorite WWF commentating teams, Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura.
They were one of the highlights of this, yes.
Absolutely. Because I love old school Jesse commentary where he's just talk shit about every single babyface, even to the point of basically thinly veiled racist comments against Tito Santana. Kept always referred to him as Chico Santana. He would call his flying elbow finisher the flying burrito, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was just Tito that he'd do that kind of stuff with. But Jesse was a great heel commentator. Loved just praising the good guy or the bad guys, talking shit about the good guys, especially if Hogan got on there. Oh, every time Hogan would pull a dirty trick, because Hogan, though being a babyface for majority of his career, pulled a lot of heel tactics during matches. And so, anytime he did, Jesse would not let up.
Oh, yeah.
So I always loved Jesse when he did that kind of shit. But our show actually begins with a cold open of everybody involved in the show talking about what they're thankful for. And it's interesting that Hogan is the first person you see, and the Ultimate Warrior is the last one you see. So, because this is basically going to take us into 1990, the following year that's not 6, is it? Because 6 was 90. Was there 691?
6 was.
I can't remember if WrestleMania 6 is. Yes, it is, because Hogan's champ again, because WrestleMania 5. Yeah. So basically the next year, so the next WrestleMania is 6. So okay, yeah. So Hogan, Warrior gets the big push in this show here. And also, this is the first year where they changed from 5-on-5 teams to 4-on-4 teams. So
teams of 4 settle the score.
Yeah. And as usual, all the names are gimmicked. Usually, it's basically led with 1 star, an undercard guy, and then usually a tag team. So, but you can tell for the most part, this was an off night for everybody. Even the ones who were involved. This was basically a pretty easy show, not a lot of hard bumps, any kind of crazy shit going on. I think Andre may have taken the biggest bump of the night just by going over the top rope. And Andre had a very easy night that night.
There were a couple of people that had super easy nights on this show.
Yeah, there were. But Andre definitely had a very easy night. Yeah. There was one dark match before the show started here. Boris Zukov versus Paul Roma. And Boris Zukov got the 1, 2, 3. So, which was interesting that Boris Zukov won a match. But then again, he won it against Paul Roma. So,
yeah.
There you go. All right, so we got our card breakdown here. So, of course, we get like I said, everybody's teams have names on here. So there's a gimmick for everything here. But our opening match here is the Dream Team versus the Enforcers. And the Dream Team consists of Dusty Rhodes, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Red Rooster, and Tito Santana. Whereas the Enforcers is led by the Big Boss Man, Bad News Brown, who replaces Akeem for whatever reason. Rick Martel, the model, and the Honky Tonk Man, and of course we have two managers on the heel team here: Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, and Slick.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the reason was why Akeem got replaced. He was still with the company. He wasn't leaving or anything like that, as far as I know. Just they did a swap out. So which I'm not entirely sure why about that one there. Basically, you've got essentially two feuds going on in this one that are being touched on. Tito and Rick Martel are still feuding because, of course, they were previously in a tag team together called Strike Force, and then Rick Martel turned heel and turned on Tito, and then Rick Martel started developing the model character, and then he had his fragrance called Arrogance, if you may remember.
Yeah.
His perfume. His perfume that he was disputing out or dispensing out of a bug, but like a bug spray dispenser, like those big old ones, like the weird like T-shaped can, and the pump in there. So yeah, he was dispensing perfume from basically a bug spray canister.
Yeah. Because it was like, for some reason in my mind, like I had replaced it with one of those little like jars with the poofy thing on the end of it. Because I think he carried one of those at one point. And then
when he did the promos, and I think when he first debuted it, Arrogance was in a bottle with the poofy thing, and then very quickly it turned over to the bug spray canister.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
all right.
Vince McMahon and cocaine, man. There you go. I don't know why. So of course, like I said, Jesse is relentless. Oh, also our other feud here, I forgot to say, our other feud is obviously Dusty and the Big Boss Man are going through a feud at this point here. So, and this is actually, I think, before we get to the Dusty and the Macho King feud, I believe. So
yes, yeah. This is pre that.
Yeah, because actually, I think there's also a shot in the crowd where you get to see a woman who basically now later on know as Sapphire, who was basically a fan of Dusty Rhodes, and then he made her his manager.
Yes, yeah. I was gonna say I saw her in there, and I was like, for a second there, I thought she was there as Sapphire, but no, it was
Yeah, that was basically the point where they were kind of telegraphing her. They just show a shot of her in the crowd wearing polka dots like Dusty, stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, also, I love to in the opening intro where everybody's doing their thanks. And what's Dusty thankful for? My polka dots, baby.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's like he embraced those polka dots like nobody else. I tell you what.
Now, one thing I found interesting about this match is, real quick too, Natty would go on to wear the same pants that Brutus Beefcake wore in this match. Did you pay attention to what they were? Because they were horrifying on Beefcake, but they were full pants, but they had like a see-through section going up the thigh, and like it cuts like right before it gets to his ass cheek. Or it goes back to the full fabric, and it was like I've seen Natty in that because Natty can pull it off, and it's noticeable. It's like it's a fine looking woman doing that.
Brutus, I would like to see an Italian Neidhart.
Brutus not so much. As a matter of fact, I did think at one point in time of trying to find with the match that I was thinking of with her wearing that is like a who wore it better deal, and show it. It was like I didn't have I was too lazy to find.
We all know Natalia would win that one. So there you go.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's see here. So, but yeah, basically, this is very mid '80s WWE. So we're not talking about high spots. We're not talking crazy stuff. This isn't like a big blow off kind of feud. So we don't get bloody in this or anything like that. So we're talking body slams, punches. Some pretty easy wrestling here. Like I said, everybody probably got a nice turkey dinner either before or after the show. You're probably getting holiday pay alongside the pay you would normally get for the show. So everybody's probably making a good chunk of change for, like I said, what's a pretty off night for wrestling here.
This show, I'm gonna be honest, with the exception of one match, this show is mid and boring as hell. Like it was, it was one of those things where it's like, next time we do this, I'm not just going to pick one out of the hat. Like I would actually like to do a show that might actually be known for being decent. That's this show was a fucking struggle, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, to me, Survivor Series is always one of my favorites growing up, especially as along with Royal Rumble. So I've seen Survivor Series '89 multiple times. So I mean, I knew it was kind of like, oh, okay, that's gonna be pretty easy show. It's not really a big. I mean, because like the next one is '90. That's the first Undertaker, so that's a big deal. '91 is your first basically show that's headlined by a world title match, and so you get basically a break in the 4-on-4, 5-on-5 teams. So yeah, so there's definite changes coming in the next few years for Survivor Series. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And to the point where basically the multi-man tag team matches, the traditional Survivor Series elimination matches, are almost phased out, or like you might get one, a year, sort of thing like that.
Yeah.
And then now that's been all replaced with war games. So
which I'm fine
that's
with.
the new thing.
I love it. I love that it's war games, but yeah.
Oh yeah. War games is cool. I'm down with that too. But so let's see here. Our first elimination: Rick Martel pins Tito Santana with a handful of tights, because Rick Martel does cheat to win. So there you go. And I tell you, I've always I wonder why Martel got out when he did. Like, he didn't stick around very long. Like, he had his heyday, and then he got out and aged well and did other stuff. But I'm not sure if he does a lot of like fan conventions or anything like that. I know he's had some health struggles recently. Because I think he's got some kind of cancer, I believe he's dealing with. But yeah, he's one of those guys that didn't stick in wrestling that long. But I just wonder, like, I've not really seen any interviews with him, so I wonder, like, what his whole take on it is, how proud he was of his work. Because I always loved him as a heel. I thought he was just a great, just snotty bad guy, good worker in the ring. Loved to cut corners. So yeah, just good classic heel. Let's see here. Next up. Oh, yeah. So we do have, of course, Bad News Brown's on this team here. And Bad News, though he was a bad guy, he also had a very bad attitude, very paranoid. So we do get a spot where basically Bad News gets in, has this little bit of time in the ring here. He goes to tag in the Boss Man. Red Rooster ducks, and Boss Man ends up hitting ends up hitting Bad News Brown, because like basically he had like Rooster, Bad News had Rooster tied up, and then Rooster ducks, and Boss Man gets hit. Basically, Boss Man hits Bad News. That starts a bit of a tussle and a push thing, and then basically Bad News just walks out. So basically he gets counted out. So now we are even 3-on-3 here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was always the fun thing I love about Bad News Brown, man. It's like he hated everybody. Yeah, and he was always going after Hogan. Like he was, like he won a world title shot, but I don't know if he ever had a match against Hogan, or at least not a televised one. Yeah, at least not a televised one.
Yeah, I don't think he did, but.
And I don't know if I wonder if there's a specific reason for that. Like Hogan didn't like him or whatever else, and so he would never grant him a shot. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's obviously that would have been something Hogan would have had a hand in. So let's see here. Next for an out, the Honky Tonk Man eliminated by Brutus Beefcake. Also, you'll notice that Jimmy Hart works a lot tonight. Yeah, Jimmy's got a lot of dudes in the show, so he'll be out here a couple more times this evening. So don't you worry, he won't be gone long. I do
love hearing him on the bullhorn yelling at people. Yeah.
Let's see here. Brutus also pins Martel. Martel tried to hold the rope, so that basically Brutus kind of reversed it on him. Mm-hmm. So Martel tried to cheat again, and he got himself here. Red Rooster, how he stayed in the match this long, I don't know. But Red Rooster finally gets eliminated by the Boss Man with a good old Boss Man slam. And then Last but not least, Dusty gets a quick surprise pin on the Boss Man, kind of a nice quick roll up sort of thing like that. After they go tussle, it gets the win, and then this course starts an afterward where Big Boss Man cuffs Dusty to the top rope and starts to beat up on him with a nightstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Brutus comes in with the save with the hedge clippers. Which, again, it's like, you're a barber, you cut hair, and we've seen you with scissors and other hair cutting tools before, but your gimmick was a giant pair of hedge clippers.
Yeah, I never understood that at all.
It's the 80s. It's bigger is better, man.
And I do love Corny always ragging on Beefcake because it was like, you know why he's called the barber? Because he had one hair match in 1981. And he
Yep. And he won it.
Yeah. Yep.
And there you go. And so he got the barber. Yeah. And of course, that was Brutus's best gimmick he had in his entire career. He was a man of many gimmicks over the years. His best known gimmick was that he was the friend of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So
Hulk Hogan flunky was the
Yep. Yeah. So wherever
he was part of that
first
stable.
I was there. Yeah.
Along
but
with
apparently
one of the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobs.
Brian Knobs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Knobs also one of his buddies too. So
yeah.
God, that'd be a trio there. Good Lord.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And of course, we get some nice post-match interviews and pre-match stuff like that, warming us up for their next one. So Sean Mooney and Mean Gene Okerlund are working hard tonight here, and of course, we always get to see Mean Gene. We get a lot of love for him, but I gotta give a shout out to Sean Mooney. Love Sean Mooney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great interviewer, just kind of good voice to him. Didn't get into the bullshit, stuff like that. So he has to react to something the heels are doing. He certainly does that. But basically, he was, he knew he was the number 2 to Mean Gene, and he was perfectly fine with that, I think, and always just gave a great performance, great delivery and stuff there. So I always enjoyed him.
Yeah.
And so we get a post-match interview with Big Boss Man and Slick after Boss Man just whooped up on Dusty. So he's also basically Boss Man's still all sweaty and hyped up and everything like that. So next up, we got Mean Gene interviewing the 4x4s, which is the team of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Hitman Bret Hart, Rugged Ronnie Garvin, and Hercules.
And they all have their trusty 2x4s.
Yes, because Jim Neidhart's gimmick was the 2x4, and so everybody's got 2x4s. Does anyone use it? Jim Duggan. Yeah, sorry, not Neidhart. Duggan. Yeah, Neidhart's later in the show. But you got 4 men carrying big hunks of wood in the match. Not a single one of them were used. Duggan,
that is true.
Duggan picked his up, to chase off the heels. But that's about it. So anyway, so we get a typical Mean Gene interview with the crazy guys, and everybody gets their little piece in there. So there you go. We get our heel team, the King's Court, which is the Macho King Randy Savage with Scary Sherry, Earthquake. At this point, now known as the Canadian Earthquake because he's teamed up with Dino Bravo, and welcome back Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
So, Earthquake, basically, he was the regular Earthquake when he first came in, was feuding with Hogan. And then after the feud with Hogan, they teamed him up with Dino Bravo. So he dubbed himself the Canadian Earthquake. And he was running around with that for a while. And then there's the tugboat heel turn where he becomes Typhoon. And then Typhoon and Earthquake team together to be National Disasters. And then later on, those guys turned face, and they were a face team for a little bit.
Yeah. So. I did kind of weirdly like the Natural Disasters. They were fun.
Well, they were fun, and they were both, especially John Tenta, Earthquake. Hell of a worker.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing against Uncle Fred. Fred Ottman, who was, Tugboat, Typhoon.
Yeah.
And also
Shockmaster. Yeah.
But he's also, a very good worker, good big man, too. But, man, anybody can tell you they ever worked with Tenta. Dude, that guy, for a big man, could work. And he could outwork a lot of people, especially Hulk freaking Hogan.
Oh yeah, that wasn't a hard feat at the time, though.
No, it sure wasn't. No. And also rounding out the King's Court, let's not forget the Hammer, Greg Valentine. So
Yep.
Jimmy's basically got 3 dudes in this match here that's under his stable.
I was gonna
Earthquake,
say,
Bravo, and Valentine.
yeah, Valentine in this was like he was the unsung hero.
Yes.
Really.
Well, because I mean, it's Greg Valentine.
Yeah.
Also a phenomenal worker. Loved him. Just good, tough, bad guy.
Yeah, and you can tell that he was the guy that Brett was like easiest working with in that match too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh yeah.
Well, and of course, and as far as I know, this is I think the first time that Macho and Hitman get to work together. At least like on a large scale. I mean, they may have done like the dark match stuff like that, but like those guys never really had a feud, or anything. So you're going to see 2 awesome workers go at it in this match as well. With basically anytime Hart and Macho are in the ring together.
Yeah.
So basically, between the 2 of them, Valentine, and I mean, I'll even give some love to Ronnie Garvin because Ronnie Garvin was just a good brawler worker. The 4 of them carry this match. So even though Ronnie doesn't really do a lot, he's not in it as much. But nonetheless,
Right. Yeah.
Let's see here. So eliminations go. Earthquake gets Hercules out first because Hercules had an impressive look, but that guy was about 800 pounds of steroids. So
yeah.
Let's see. Jerry Duggan gets Greg Valentine. Boo. Dino Bravo pins Rugged Ronnie Garvin. And then basically, like I was just referring to, we get this awesome mini match at this point between Bret Hart and Macho Man that goes on for a little bit.
Yeah.
That was just like, I just sit there and it's like, honestly, yeah.
That was like, wow, the show's actually become watchable for a minute or 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for like a good, like what? Maybe like little, 3 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
3-4 minutes. But it's so good. It's so good.
And I wondered that watching this match made me wonder too. Like Macho Man was known for being meticulous as hell about his matches, and like going in there. Like how did he prepare for something like this? Is what I want to know. Like because it's like he's doing like it's like I can't imagine like he's got to coordinate with 7 other people. Move to move to do his thing, unless like it's something to where like he's just only focusing on who he's tagging with at the time. Like that's the thing. Macho Man isn't alive to do shoot interviews, and he never did any when he was alive. So yeah, it's like we don't know these things. But
from my understanding, he was pretty meticulous with when it came to like the big matches and stuff like that. For this being a multi-man match, I guarantee you there was a couple of spots like he may have worked some stuff out with Hacksaw. He definitely during his whole program with Bret Hart for those few minutes, they definitely talked that over. But then again, they may have talked a little bit, but for the most part, somebody's got something.
I was gonna say I can hear that girl.
Yeah, I think that's Iris. I think she's hunted and has got that evil stuffed little squirrel or one of her favorite strings. So either way, she's a good hunter. So
yeah.
we recognize your hunting superiority. Now shut up. Anyway. So like I said, we get this great mini match here with them. I think, a lot of it may have been called, in the match, for the most part. Because I mean, two consummate workers like Macho and Hitman, they could work that out in the ring.
Really yeah, absolutely.
A line that Jesse Ventura has, basically, Gorilla Monsoon has a line like, I don't think Hacksaw knows the meaning of the word quit. And Jesse comes back with, he don't know the meaning of much. Like, get him, Jess.
Yep, there you go.
Love it. Let's see here. Macho ends up pinning the Hitman with the big elbow. So now we have a 3-on-1 situation here. Hacksaw is alone. But he ends up clearing the ring in a spot here, beats up a little bit on everybody. And then At one point, Duggan's going for a running move. Sherry pulls down the ropes. Duggan goes ass over tea kettle outside and ends up getting eliminated by a count out. But then he grabs the 2x4 and then clears out the heels, even though he lost the match. So,
Yeah.
So he gets the celebratory waving around the 2x4 and going ho, and the audience going ho. But yeah, you still lost. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Our next segment here, Mean Gene gives an update on Dusty Rhodes. And of course, it's like he's outside the door where Dusty's getting worked on by the trainers, and it's looking grim and whatnot. We see lacerations. You know, there may be
He's on
staples.
death's door.
Yeah, it's looking rough there, you know. So, but yeah, so a great little update there. I always love some Mean Gene stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Next up, a poem by the genius, aka Leaping Lanny Poffo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to know if these poems are all written by the genius and Lanny Poffo himself, the answer is yes, they are that bad. So you know who to blame.
Yeah, as awful as they are all Lanny Poffo creations, and they are awful as hell.
Yeah, but God bless him though. Lanny did that stuff till the day he died. Man, he knew that was his gimmick, and he was in on the joke. But yeah. So. And of course, I don't know if you ever saw any footage of him when he was leaping Lanny Poffo, and he also did poems, but these poems didn't get booed as much because they were much shorter. And also, he would toss out frisbees.
Yes, I do remember the frisbees. Yeah,
yeah, and then I think the frisbees even had a poem on there and something like that. But they were like, you know, after a while, they started selling those in the merch stand. So you had like the leaping Lanny frisbee and whatnot. But yeah.
I had one of those that he signed as a kid, and it was
no kidding.
It was one of the most awkward things. Is I remember meeting Leapin' Lanny, and like he was the genius then, but it was still the frisbee. He was still doing the frisbee gimmick, and I guess they had some left over or something. But it was. My mom wasn't too happy with him. I remember that, but it's like I did get the autograph, and it was. I have no idea where it's at now. Like long gone somewhere, I'm sure. But
that's awesome, bro. Let's see our next match here, and this is one of the big ones here. We've got the Hulkamaniacs versus the $1 Million Team.
Yeah,
and of course that's one of the big ones here. One of the big marquees of the two big matches here. And if you may remember in history, the previous summer, the film No Holds Barred was released to theaters, or should I say, unleashed on theaters, more be appropriate. So, yes, basically starring the titular Hulk Hogan and Tom Tiny Zeus Lister. So, yeah, we got to enjoy his. Well, basically, Tiny had been doing a lot of movies before this already. So he was already a working actor at this point. But then basically for the remainder of 1989, basically old Zeus got in a few matches. Basically, he only worked with Hogan or if Hogan was tagging with Brutus Beefcake. But he didn't work with anybody else. Right? He would tag with Macho King. But yeah, there you go.
Well, and you remember too, previously in SummerSlam, like he didn't even really wrestle. Like he got like almost insta DQ'd. And and that kind of becomes a running theme.
It does, because basically, it's the whole thing is that Zeus is Fury Unleashed, and he basically he just wants to just choke the life out of Hulk Hogan, but doesn't necessarily understand the rules of wrestling. So Zeus isn't in the match very long. But along with Hogan and his team, you've got Jake the Snake Roberts and Axe and Smash of Demolition, one of my favorite tag teams. And of course, they recently had a face turn at was it the previous WrestleMania or SummerSlam? Basically, when they were when they they were bad guys being managed by Mr. Fuji, and Mr. Fuji got mad at them and like pulled down the ropes on Smash or Axe, and one of the two. And so basically it was literally a dual turn because they were fighting the powers of pain, and the powers of pain walk off with Mr. Fuji, and then the Axe and Smash basically go on to superstardom because they become good guys. So there you go. And then over on the $1 Million team, of course, you have the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, with Virgil, Zeus, as we mentioned before, and the Warlord and Barbarian of the Powers of Pain, a.k.a. Timu Road Warriors.
Yes.
Yes, because they were just literal ripoffs of the Road Warriors. Vince McMahon admitted this many times. The wrestlers themselves knew. It's like, yeah, he doesn't have the Road Warriors sign. They don't want to come here right now. So we're the Road Warriors he couldn't get. So,
yeah.
But yeah, as we said here, Zeus is almost DQ'd immediately for choking out Hogan and tossing the ref out of the way and stuff like that. So yeah, Zeus is in the match for about a whole 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but we get kind of another, basically a big team up against the heels on Hogan here, just kind of like what we had in the last match. Because let's see here. Warlord gets Axe out of the way with the help from Mr. Fuji. Mm-hmm. Barbarian gets smashed out of the way in almost very quick fashion as well. And then Warlord and Barbarian get DQ'd for double teaming Hogan with a spike pile driver. So it's kind of like boom, 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 all these guys are gone. So it really comes down to Hogan and DiBiase. But for a second there, it's a 3-on-1. But very quickly, it goes back to a 1-on-1. So you get, you got Jake Roberts too. Sorry, let's not forget Jake. But then, of course, DiBiase ends up getting rid of Jake Roberts too with a little help from Virgil. So, yeah. so Jake doesn't stick around too much longer after that there. So we get, $1 Million Man with Hogan, but Hogan's still selling the pile driver from earlier, so he's acting hurt. So $1 Million Man's taking liberties with him, and then the Hulk out. And so Hogan does the blowing of the puffing of the cheeks and the shaking of the face and his silken Chinese hair, and basically makes the big Hulk out and the pump up, and he's turning red and is doing the thing and the punches and the punches and punches and a body slam and then the big boot and the leg 1, 2, 3 and a match. There you go.
Yeah, this was like my interest was waning hard here. It was a very rough match. I honestly, this was the one I didn't pay very much attention to after the Zeus DQ. And it was like, if Hogan in the 80s is not in the main event, it ain't a good match. It ain't even like a match worth really checking out, honestly.
And basically, he's in the third of a 5-card match. So he's in the middle of the card.
He's mid-card.
Literally mid-card. Yep.
Hulk Hogan, the king of all wrestling, basically, at that point, is mid-card. Yeah.
Yep. And, of course, this match is almost entirely a commercial for the next event coming up December 27th, which was No Holds Barred, the movie The Match. Which literally was a pay-per-view event where they showed you in its entirety, No Holds Barred, and then followed up with a tag team cage match of Zeus and Macho Man with, Zeus and $1 Million Man with Hogan and Beefcake.
Yeah. Which was I remember when this happened because I wanted to watch it so bad. And it was, in hindsight, it was the stupidest thing in the world.
It was. And they taped multiple matches, like Dusty and Bossman had a match. Trying to think. I think Hacksaw and Macho King had a match. So you had I think 4 or 5 matches that were actually taped for this thing, but they only aired the Hogan Zeus one. And so if you'd already seen No Holds Barred, there was no reason to buy this pay-per-view for one match.
No, not a bit.
Because if you saw No Holds Barred, unless you were suffering from a head injury, you didn't want to see it again. So, not unless you're going to get with your friends and get drunk and have a chuckle. So that's a great reason to watch No Holds Barred. To make fun of it, give the Mystery Science Theater 3000 treatment for it. That's a great reason to watch No Holds Barred. But if you're sitting home alone, have nothing else better to do, and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to watch 1989's No Holds Barred. Stop. And please select something else.
Yeah, and Barbed Wire with Pamela Anderson is a better movie than that.
Yes, because she's kind of half naked in the movie, so that's a very good reason. Hulk Hogan's half naked in the movie, but I'd much rather see Pam Anderson than I would see Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
But anywho, so so mostly there's a lot of commercial for the No Holds Barred pay-per-view event, which is literally the next event the next month. So a couple days after Christmas. But no real reason to see that pay-per-view or movie at all. But that also is that was our blow-off for the Zeus Hogan feud, so we never see Zeus in the WWF ever again.
Yeah, thankfully he goes nowhere near wrestling. And
Nope. Yeah, he basically does acting and, basically does, in the 90s, some of his big turnout movies were like, Fifth Element, Friday, so he becomes a very prolific actor. He already, of course, a couple of years prior to this, he was in a movie you let me borrow recently, Extreme Prejudice. God, that's such a good movie.
Did you check it? You watched it again?
Oh yeah. And it's so funny because people like some early reviews, like there must have been some simple folks reviewing movies in 1987 because this movie is a kind of a neo-Western. It's a modern day movie, but it has very much a Sam Peckinpah Western kind of feel to it. Directed by the great Walter Hill. We're gonna take a sidebar here for a moment there, folks. If you'll indulge us.
That's what we do on the Fanatic Forum.
Yes, we are the kings of sidebar. But Extreme Prejudice, like you got Nick Nolte's playing a Texas Ranger. He's going after basically kind of there's a drug dealer that's come across the border that affects the town where he's in, but they're childhood friends. So it's always been kind of this like, I want to turn you over to the good side and get you to stop doing what you're doing, but I don't want to kill you, and I'd rather not put you in jail. I'd rather you just stop it and do all that kind of stuff. So he's still trying to protect his friends, sort of thing. Then you've also got this elite military unit who's now worked their way into things, and they're throwing in the complications. And then, of course, you've got basically the drug dealer himself, who's played by Powers Booth. But there's so many people in this movie, like Michael Ironsides, Clancy Brown, Maria Conchita Alonso is in here. Trying to think what Tiny Lister is in there as well. William Forsythe. So just like the list goes, like there's a shitload of people.
So many
in this movie.
people.
Yeah. So, but I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere. You can rent it on YouTube, but I don't think it's streaming anywhere with any of the services, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Which was it was really cool though. In that Blu-ray, you got a digital copy with it, and the Blu-ray was pretty reasonable coming out. I think it was only like $16, but it was part of the Vestron video line that they did. It's still in print, but definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, very much worth checking out. But just great action movie. When you get to the end, like big old like shout out to the Wild Bunch kind of shootout. So top quality cinema, folks. All right, back to the old Survivor Series here. Of course, we do get a post match here with Sean Mooney interviewing Savage, Zeus, and Sherry, and we're basically promoting the No Holds Barred movie in the match. Once again. Then you've got Mean Gene interviewing Hogan and Barber. And they're kind of doing their thing, and they're getting all pumped up, and we're getting pumped up for December 27th. And then Sherry comes in behind them. She screams some stuff and throws salt in their eyes. And then Macho and Zeus show up, basically, and scuffle ensues.
Yes.
So nice little backstage little blow up there. Next up, we're back on Jesse and Gorilla, getting ready for the next match here. Did you notice the shirt that Jesse Ventura was sporting to make sure everybody could check it out what he was wearing?
No, what was it?
He's wearing an Abraxas t-shirt.
Okay.
So his crappy straight-to-video sci-fi flick, Abraxas, where he plays the titular bad guy, Yep.
Yeah.
He was part of that movie. Yes, sir.
Back when Jesse was coming out with some bangers too. The Running Man, Predator, Abraxas.
Nebraska.
Man, I do kind of wish though that you just snorted.
I did. It's like Running Man, Predator,
Abraxas.
I mean, Praxis. It's not the worst movie you're ever going to see, but it's definitely one of those like late '80s low budget sci-fi action flicks that
isn't Liam
borrows
Neeson
a
in
lot.
it too?
Yes, Liam Neeson's also in it. Yeah.
Yeah, in one of his very early. Yeah, I think I saw Abraxas as a riff track on
Yep.
on
So
one of
it's
the
definitely
live.
a rip.
I mean, I've seen it before, but I can't remember if I saw the riff track or I'm just like adding to it.
I know they've done a riff track, so yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I do wish though that television series that Jesse Ventura and Roddy Piper filmed a pilot for, where they were former wrestlers turned cops, would have been picked up. Yeah, because that was a great premise. Like they fought crime with wrestling moves. Like they didn't need guns; they were pro wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing was, like, there were a couple times you'd see them like in a gym or something like that, but you never saw them like at a wrestling show. You never actually got to see them wrestle. But then when they would get into fights with cops, you're right. They wouldn't use guns. They would basically be doing like body slams and suplexes and arm drags and crap like that.
Yeah, they even have a hot tag.
Yes.
Yeah, the episode. Yeah, it's great. It's
They also have a hot tag. Yep. Yeah. Oh. And that was actually released in theaters?
No kidding.
It had a very short run, limited cities, but yes, they actually had a theatrical run.
Wow.
Yeah, some pilots for TV shows that were long enough to be in theaters, some of them actually did air and basically were played in theaters in limited runs. The Battlestar Galactica was one of them. The pilot for that
one, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of them. Trying to think what else. There were a couple of pilots that aired that would play in theaters back in the day. But yeah, so yeah. Oh, Body Slam. I remember I was like, when that aired on TV, like I saw the promos, like I was waiting for that to come on. I think it was like a Friday night movie or something like that.
I don't remember when. I only discovered it on YouTube years after the fact. I never watched it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you were too young to watch it live anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember watching it live. I know it aired on NBC. It was either like a Friday or Saturday night movie, and I was over at my grandparents' house watching it. So I distinctly remember the event of waiting for this thing to come out and watching it and going, boy, it's kind of dull in some spots. Like when they get to the action parts, it was fine, but it was kind of dull in a lot of parts. So
no, growing up for me, I got to wait for the TV movie versions of things like Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., starring David Hasselhoff, or the Gen X made for TV movie with Matt Frewer that was the most unconnected to X-Men thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and let's also not forget later on Mutant X, where Fox tried it one more time. Hey, let's try another X-Men show that's not an X-Men show.
Not X-Men, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've actually done it 3 times. I can't remember what the most recent one was. The one that was out maybe 10 years ago or something like that.
Legion?
No, not Legion. Legion actually was great.
Oh. I need to watch that then.
No, this was like a Fox Network show, not FX. But yeah, but you had the Gen X pilot movie. You had Mutant X. I was thinking there was a third one. Maybe it's just called like The Mutants, maybe, or something along those lines. But anyway, but no, the Legion show, that one, the same dude that's doing the Alien series, Noah Hawley, did that one. It's not tied into X-Men so much. Basically, Charles Xavier is mentioned several times because obviously he's David's father. You actually do get a scene of David and Xavier, but it's not Patrick Stewart. It's a different actor playing Xavier. In the final season, you finally get a confrontation between the two of them. But it's kind of its own thing. It's disconnected from the X-Men, but it's so fucking weird and cool and original. And it's got a great soundtrack. Especially the first season's the best. It kind of it tapers off a little bit in the second season, gets a little uneven, then kind of picks things back up in the third and wraps up well. But that first season is outstanding. So, yeah,
okay.
I loved Legion on FX. That was a great show. All right, back to the pay-per-view here. We're almost done. We got 2 more matches left here.
Yes.
This is Rowdy's Roddies versus the Rude Brood. So, Rowdy's Roddies consists of Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and the Bushwhackers. And, of course, we do get some pre-match interviews here. Sean Mooney is with the Brood, and Mean Gene is with the Roddies. The Brood is basically, we're all, we're all awesome, things like that.
Rick Rude has his airbrushed pants, which are great. He's got yeah.
And then you got Mr. Perfect with the Genius and the Fabulous Rougeaus with Jimmy again. Interestingly enough, Bobby the Brain Heenan is not with Rick Rude, even though Rick Rude is still currently a member of the Heenan family. But Jesse Ventura also had made mention a few times throughout the show that maybe there was some tension within the Heenan family, some dissension within the ranks.
Well, I think the real answer is going to come in the next match.
I believe it certainly will here. But yes, so in Rowdy's with Mean Gene, we get Rowdy giving a crazy promo, while in the background, Jimmy Superfly Snuka and the Bushwhackers are single-handedly annihilating a turkey.
Yeah.
Almost obscenely.
Yeah, but it's like there was a lot of coke done between this team too. But yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Snuka at this point in his career, he's probably barely conscious, and he's working completely on like motor skills here, So
yeah,
And one thing I was reminded of in this match, I forgot that the Fabulous Rougeaus had a theme song.
Did they?
Yes, and they played it in their entrance. They're coming out there, but it was obviously a Jimmy Hart production. You could tell by listening to some of the lyrics that Jimmy Hart wrote it. The Rougeaus sing it.
Yeah.
More like talk in rhythm. But yeah, it's basically just them talking about how great they are and the ladies love them and stuff like that.
I don't remember this. I don't remember their entrance, mainly since I kind of tune out during some of the entrances. But but
I completely forgot that late in their career, the Fabulous Rougeaus actually had a theme song. But it wasn't really until Jimmy Hart started managing them. So there you go. So, but yeah. So there's your warm up for the match there. But Superfly ends up getting Jacques Rougeau out early with a nice Superfly splash. So, like I said, when Snuka's in the ring, when he's still able to do it, he looks good. But like you can just tell, like the lights are on, but nobody home, man.
Right.
Rowdy Piper gets Raymond Rougeau. Mr. Perfect gets Butch. And then Rude eliminates Luke by pinfall. So then basically you get Rowdy Piper and Rick Rude start basically getting to a big tussle, and they get into a double count out. So now you're basically left with Mr. Perfect and the Superfly. So, and of course, you get a nice, definitely Henning carries it in here because this is Henning at his peak right here in 1989.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, he's outstanding. Just his work, his look, everything. So,
he is peaking at this point, just about or he's getting ready to start. Yeah,
because I think he was at WrestleMania 6 when he gets his Intercontinental belt against Bret Hart, or am I thinking of something else? Or maybe that might be SummerSlam. But either way, he's come up on an IC belt run here in a little bit. But basically, Perfect gets the win with a Perfect Plex, pins Snuka, and then basically afterwards, Snuka beats up Perfect with a couple of chops, and then basically starts beating up on the Genius, teases a super flash splash, but Perfect pulls Genius out of the ring before Snuka gets the splash off there. So your sole survivor, Mr. Perfect. And thankfully, this one is a very quick match.
It was it still lasted like 21 minutes though, compared like it was the shortest, but well no, it wasn't the shortest, but it was still like it still went on longer than it needed to.
Yeah, but 10 of those 20 minutes were the entrances though of
That is
8
true.
people. So
Yeah.
So and of course because you got like a lot of time stalling and time killing and stuff like that in the entrance and all that kind of jazz. So
Yeah.
Let's see. Post match, Mooney's with the Rude Brood celebrating, and then Mean Gene goes with the Ultimate Warriors, which is made up of the Ultimate Warrior, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty. And this is very much a typical, we're going to be rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling, coming to your town, baby, woo. And Jim Neidhart, something, 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 ha, 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 stroke, stroke, stroke. And then Warrior, something nonsensical, something nonsensical, screaming, screaming, ultimate war.
Yeah.
That's your promo, folks. I saved you 5 minutes. So there you go. And then on the Heenan family side, we've got Andre the Giant, Haku, which at the time we're still teaming as the Colossal Connection, Arn Anderson, and what we should have had was Tully Blanchard, because the Brainbuster's the other part of this team here. But alas, no Tully. And in his place, Bobby the Brain Heenan wrestling. But why is Tully not in the match?
They never explain, but we know.
Yes. So the short version is that Tully failed a drug test and so was not allowed to wrestle. But Seth, you have some further history on this as to even further into the whys and the what really happens with Mr. Tully Blanchard.
Yeah. So this was when they filmed the Saturday Night Main Event beforehand too, right?
Right, and then Saturday Night's Main Event was the Brainbusters' final appearance in WWE. So, I think it's like either like the following Saturday or 2 Saturdays away was the Saturday Night's Main Event. But like I said, that was taped prior to this. So
what other context do I have for this? Because I'm drawing a blank on this one.
This is basically when they were going to go back over to WCW, but Jim Herd was in charge at this point.
Oh yeah. So because a lot of people were hating the Jim Herd stuff, especially if they came from the old Crockett style and went to WWF to try and get better pay, and then Jim Herd was still. Yeah, Dusty Rhodes. This is when Dusty Rhodes was in the WWF. So Jim Herd running him out was like, that was previously his territory. Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
But
so basically, what ends up happening is that Arn and Tully are planning to go back to WCW. They already have a deal in place and are pretty much ready to go. So Tully's like. So Tully's like, you know what? I'm going to take a night off and I'm going to purposely fail a drug test so I don't have to do Survivor Series. So Arn's like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, I'll have to fly out to Chicago. I'll see you in Georgia, sort of thing like that. So that happens. Tully doesn't, he's not allowed to work the match. Bobby Heenan replaces him. But Jim Herd finds out about Tully failing the drug test. And because he did not know nor care of the history of Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard in WCW as being original founding members of the Four Horsemen and basically tag team stars over there for many years during the Jim Crockett era, Jim decides to make a new deal and offer them less money because Tully failed a drug test.
Yeah, they devalued themselves pretty hard. Tully devalued them pretty hard.
So, So they leave go back to WCW, but now they're doing it with less money because Tully fucked up. Yeah. Thinking he's just like, I'm going to have a fun little night off here and not have to work. And then he ends up screwing them over in their future deal with the company they were going to next.
Right.
I hope Arn Anderson gave Tully a right cross to the jaw. It's like, you fucked me out of my money. I'm going to punch you in the face. But so that's why no Tully, and we have Bobby the Brain Heenan now wrestling, which it may seem unusual to those who don't know their history very well, but before Bobby was a manager, he actually was a worker. So he was, basically he was the chicken shit heel. So he wasn't like a badass wrestler or anything like that. He basically, if you can imagine Bobby Heenan as a wrestler as he was as a manager, that's basically, so.
Yeah.
But multiple times where Bobby would actually work some matches, especially the famous one where he lost a match and had to be dressed into a weasel suit, which basically started giving him the nickname of the Weasel.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
He
He sold that like $1 million too.
He did.
Heenan being in this match, though, was actually probably one of the more beneficial things and made it the most interesting match on the card, I think. Just because of his playoff with the Ultimate Warrior later on, like in the match. It was, yeah.
I felt bad for Heenan because, Warrior was infamous for not being a smooth worker and working very stiff. So I wonder if Heenan got hurt in this match at all.
That's very, very possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he got hurt in this match. That was literally the first thing I was thinking about.
Yeah.
The match starts and almost immediately everybody's sorting out where they're going. Andre's in the ring and acting like he's not really paying attention and taking his sweet ass time getting out. Well, Warrior almost immediately clotheslines Andre out of the ring, going ass over tea kettle over the ropes on the outside, and then gets counted out. So Andre's in the match for less time than Zeus was in the match in his Survivor Series match a few matches prior.
Yeah.
So Andre gets a very easy night for this one here. But this was also very much towards the WrestleMania 6 was like Andre's, I think that was his last match. So it's like 6 months away. So Andre is definitely at the end of his rope.
You can 100%. Tell they're very much protecting him.
Very much. But this one should surprise no one. Haku is the worker du jour in this match, beating the ever-loving piss shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise. It shouldn't surprise anybody that Haku's a badass and kicking everybody's ass. But Haku is beating the ever-loving shit out of everybody in this match here. And he takes out Anvil after a savate kick. So there's your second elimination there, or your first one for the baby faces. Bobby Heenan takes out Marty Jannetty with a little help from Haku. But nonetheless, Bobby Heenan gets the pin on old Marty Jannetty. I'm sure Marty's got a story about that one.
He's got a story, yeah. Well, as long as it wasn't involving him committing a hate crime.
Let's hope not. Yeah. Jeez. Let's see here. Next up, Shawn Michaels takes out Haku. So, and of course, this is still very much, young, beefy Shawn Michaels here. He's, still, he still hasn't become the Heartbreak Kid just yet, but he's very much on the verge of that. Very, very close. A year away?
Super close to the Rockers.
Yeah. We're probably about a year away from the infamous barbershop window incident.
Because I think Gorilla even still calls them the Midnight Rockers here, and because they
he still refers to them as the Midnight Rockers. What's his Jesse keeps still just calling them Rockers though. Let's see. Arn takes out Michaels. And then basically Warrior gets his whole finisher combo of clothesline, body splash, that's the shoulder tackle, body splash, sort of thing like that. So Arn goes down after his finisher combo, and last but not least, we got Warrior in the ring with Bobby Heenan. And like I said, Bobby's getting tossed around by Warrior here like a rag doll, and I worry for Bobby's health. Because Warrior again, like I said, I love the Warrior as a kid, like a lot of other people did. But then as you get older and you kind of start seeing through the cracks and seeing the truth in the matter, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like everybody teases John Cena for having 5 moves of doom. Warrior had 3.
Yeah.
Had 3, folks. Yeah.
Warrior did not. He had a ring presence, but that was about it.
Yes, definitely had the presence. But he was probably the much more so than Hogan, because Hogan had some acumen and showed it sometimes, especially his run in Japan. So Hogan could actually work. But Warrior was almost the perfect emphasis of Vince McMahon's motto of like all sizzle, no steak.
Yeah.
You know, it's all the noise, the attraction, the ambiance, the everything else. But then the more you weed it down, it's like, oh, yeah, this guy can barely sharpen a pencil. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. So, there you go. With that, folks, is Survivor Series 1989. Our next event on December 27th is No Holds Barred, the movie, The Match.
Don't watch that.
The avoidance. Yeah, don't watch that, folks.
don't torture yourself.
No, it's a very mid cage match. Again, you get Zeus does a lot of choking and chortling, so they loosen up the reins a little bit, so Zeus doesn't get DQ'd in the first 30 seconds of the match. But yeah, this is definitely Zeus's longest performance in the WWE as a wrestler. So by about 5 minutes. But yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in with us here for our special taped episode here. Like I said, I had to work for Black Friday, so we weren't able to do the show. And since we had to cancel at the last minute last week because Seth was having interweb issues, so yeah, we had to stop down for reasons. There's like, no, we're going to record for you guys here and still have a show for you guys tonight.
Yeah,
so
because we still had to watch Survivor Series '89, so we were going to talk about it. We weren't going to let it go to waste. Yeah.
Yeah, we might as well share the joy or, whatever with you guys.
Yes.
The ambivalence, yes, yeah. I mean, I say it's definitely a classic 80s WWF, sort of thing like that. The crowd was hot as hell. They were there for it. But yeah, it's really interesting to see a show of this nature versus the stuff they're putting out today, which is almost the exact same thing of like, the crowd is hot as shit. They're there for it. They like to sing along and chant with the stuff. The matches inside are kind of piss poor. The storylines, nothing's really going on right now. Yeah. So it's like, that's kind of the emphasis of the WWE right now. It's like, wow, how little things change.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very cyclical. It's like we're in another period again. It was like, wow, like here we go. It's like, kind of, and the irony is now in the WWE, you've got a lot of talent, a lot of very good workers, in there. But yeah, there's just ain't shit much going on right now. Yeah. So, except for Survivor Series, which is this coming weekend?
That's Saturday. Yeah.
Oh shit. All right. Well, there you go. So you got Survivor Series 2025, aka War Games.
War Games.
Which this might be an interesting War Games to have Brock Lesnar. Basically you got Brock Lesnar and CM Punk and Cody and Roman amongst many other stars. But yeah, those guys all in a War Games match together. Now Brock's on the bad guys team and everybody else on the good guy team.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, wow, that's interesting. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see it. So yeah, we'll be hanging out at Casa del Seth for that one, I'm sure. So.
Oh yeah. I think it'll just be you and me this time, but.
Cool. Right.
Yeah.
Just the two of us.
We can make it each other.
Yes, sir. Well, you all hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you guys once again for tuning in with us on the Fanatic Forum. Definitely like and share this with your friends and family, even people you don't care for and whatever else. Share the joy. This is the home for geeks here. So we will see you guys next week here. You all have yourself a safe and wonderful holiday weekend. And we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum, TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals. And we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Truth. And overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.